Hey everybody, it's the Dr. Disney Show with me, Dr. Disney. Today I'm going to read an article written about Walt Disney and the Silly Symphonies from 1934. I have the original article. I had it framed. It's in my office. I found this article in a box of junk at a Disney auction several years ago. It was just folded up, put in with a bunch of books, and I loved it so much. I had it framed up real nice. It's under UV glass. It'll be protected forever. I love this, and I want to share it with you. This article is written at a time when Disney's success wasn't guaranteed. He had success with Mickey Mouse and the Silly Symphonies, but he was not the global icon that he is today. This article will discuss some of those topics. I could go into specifics on what is discussed in the article, but it would take me hours. So I'm just going to read the article today, and later we can talk about some of the specifics. So here is the framed article. I took it off my wall, and when we talk about it, I'll just put it up in Photoshop, okay? All right, let's get into this. So here you see the article. It's all on one page. It's got a few cartoons associated with it. Really nice picture of Walt Disney. The title is A Silly Symphony Becomes America's Slogan. Three Little Pigs Change the Psychology of the Nation. Walt Disney tells how he makes animated cartoons. Here's a cartoon of the Three Little Pigs, two of them at least, behind a wooden door. 1, 2 were scared to death of the Big Bad Wolf's breath. Here's another cartoon of the Big Bad Wolf and I guess the House of Straw. And by the hair of your chinny chin chin, I'll blow you in. Here's some vignettes of Mickey and Minnie. This article is from the Chattanooga Free Press, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Thursday, January 18th, 1934. I even have a few red date stamps on it indicating the date. Here's the iconic image of Walt Disney. He looks very debonair and like an iconoclast. Work is the real adventure in life. Money is merely a means to make more work possible, says Walt Disney, creator of Mickey Mouse and Silly Symphonies. And the last cartoon here, this is from Skeleton Dance. And it says, one of more than 10,000 drawings that were made to portray the skeleton dance in Walt Disney's first Silly Symphony. The article is by Alice Tildesley, but I'm just going to read what's here. For all I know, she had a conversation with Walt Disney. Who's afraid of the Big Bad Wolf? We all could be singing this popular ditty with conviction if we had the confidence of Walt Disney, who has found the answer to this wolf at the door menace. The answer, according to Disney, is invent your own job, take such an interest in it that you eat, sleep, drink, walk, talk, and live nothing but your work until you succeed. Then you may take on a hobby or two if you feel so inclined. The creator of the increasingly famous Three Little Pigs started out in business in his father's garage, his equipment an old still camera, and a supply of pens, ink, and paper. Now he has his own studio, his own story and music departments, complete equipment, and 135 employees on his staff. The earnings from the 8-minute Silly Symphony in which the pigs get the best of the Big Bad Wolf have been variously estimated at anywhere from $1 million to $2 million. But this, alas, like the picture, is just a fairy story. All this talk about my making a lot of money is bunk, declares Disney. After 10 years of pretty tough sledding, I am now making a moderate profit on my products. But every dime I take in is immediately put back into the business. I'm building for the future, and my goal isn't millions, it's better pictures. I'm not interested in money except for what I can do with it to advance my work. The idea of piling up a fortune for the sake of wealth seems silly to me. Work is the real adventure in life. Money is merely a means to make more work possible. What they cost. The average cost of a cartoon in black and white is $18,000. In color, this runs to about $20,000. These figures represent only the actual production cost and don't include the cost of prints, usually 20 prints a picture, but 350 for the pigs, cost of distribution, advertising, foreign taxes, duties, etc. It takes a Mickey Mouse comedy 12 months to pay for itself, while the average Silly Symphony doesn't crawl out of the red for 18 months. On the other hand, these cartoon comedies last for a long time. They are still showing the first Mickey Mouse comedy after 9 years. Maybe 10 years from now, the Big Bad Wolf will still be huffing and puffing before the door of the House of Bricks. Certainly, the Three Little Pigs should crawl out of the red soon, for it's breaking records everywhere and has been recalled as many as 7 times to some theaters. America resounds to Who's Afraid? Not such a bad slogan for any country, sung over the radio, played by orchestras, and whistled by schoolboys. Yet, if you can believe it, when Disney suggested the idea of the symphony to his staff some 9 months ago, the 12 men who composed the story department remained unimpressed. "It's lousy. Why don't you get a real idea?" they chorused. You see, Disney surrounds himself with good no-men. Every one of these 135 who work at the one-story building called Walt Disney Studios is a member of a cooperating organization. They are not expected to say yes when they mean no, and nothing is done without a majority opinion in favor of it. I think the reason they didn't like the idea was at the time the thing wasn't very clear in my own mind, confessed Disney frankly. I withdrew it and tried to forget it, but the pigs and the wolf in the little house kept haunting me. I thought about them until I saw the story clearly, and then I proposed it again. This time, they liked it. I don't mean they threw up their hats or that even I thought it would be a tremendous hit. We considered it a typical silly symphony. If Disney were running any other kind of studio, the proper procedure after deciding on an idea would be to write the story, cast the parts, engage the director and composer, if it were to be a musical, and build some sets. You can't do it that way at Disney's. First, a one-page story is outlined and read to the dozen members of the story department. 2 weeks later, this staff must turn in ideas that could be used in the tale, gags that might be included, and drawings of their individual conceptions of the characters. Origin of the la-la. For the Three Little Pigs, for example, one man may have turned in the gag where the pig with the house of straw opens his frail door and pulls the mat with welcome on it when he sees the wolf come bounding toward it. Another may have suggested that the wolf grab hold of the little pig's tails as they flee to safety in the house of bricks. One wall in the conference room was covered with 12 or more versions of how the four characters looked and sketches of their dwellings. From these, selection was made by vote of all present, and animators provided with models of the selections. In an ordinary picture, there is opportunity to rehearse the characters, try things several different ways, and select the best take for the final product. But in a cartoon comedy composed of 10,000 to 15,000 drawings, the director must visualize his action, plan his entire continuity, entrances, exits, dissolves, and cuts. In fact, do all his editing before a single picture is drawn. An artist animator can, with diligence, produce only 5 feet of action every 8 hours. So it is necessary to conserve his time by giving him the kind of work he does best. Some artists are excellent at producing scenes. Others can create animated action. It is difficult for any artist to change his individual style or adopt a standard style for the benefit of the cartoon, so that the little pig drawn by one can't be distinguished from the little pig drawn by another. For this reason, Disney maintains a group of apprentice artists and trains them in the art of animation. They attend art classes at the studio. Their apprenticeship lasts 6 months, never less, and sometimes longer, and they are paid as they learn. A good animator should be a good actor also, for he must know what is dramatic, what is comic, and what is pathetic. We have 3 musical directors who compose the music or adapt it for our pictures, explained Disney. Our 3 picture directors each has a film to direct, and each works with his own musical director. The music must fit the mood of the story. It should enhance the action, and care must be taken that it does not instead detract from the picture or annoy the audience. At first, we tried to have the action follow the melody, but we soon saw that wouldn't do. The musical score must correspond to the rhythm of the action following the beat of the music. The problem is simply one of resolving all musical tempos in terms of the standard speed and of making a consecutive series of drawings to fit this tempo. Certain basic tempos, multiples of the frame speed of film, have been established. The fastest employed is 1 beat every 6 frames, amounting to 4 beats a second. The total range is from this to 1 beat every 20 frames, or 1 beat every 5/6 of a second. In the case of the pigs, one of the staff during the first conference suggested the line, "Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?" Whereupon Frank Churchill, music composer, sat down and wrote the jingly tune in 5 minutes, after which the lyric was composed by 2 of the young men on the staff. The original words appeared like this: "Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? He don't know from nothing." But the last line refused to fit, and the boys toiled for some time trying to find a rhyme for wolf. At length, one said in despair, "Let's just let the flute take it," and the well-known tra-la-la-la-la was slipped in to finish the first hit melody furnished by a cartoon studio. The music having been decided upon, the scenic department artists prepare the backgrounds to be used in the action of the film, just as scene painters prepare stage sets or set designers prepare screen sets. The action of the picture moves against these backgrounds just as it does in ordinary talking picture. For the pigs, these backgrounds were the three little houses from varied angles, exterior and interior. The action, of course, was that of the ancient fairy tale, the big bad wolf who came huffing and puffing to blow the little houses down. The four characters must be opaque figures so that when placed against the background, the scene will not show through. When the director and musician have settled story, music situations, gags, and approximate footage of film, a layout sheet is made for the guidance of the animators. It looks like something prepared by Einstein, but from it, the gifted musician is able to prepare a complete music score with all the beats coming on the precise moment the cartoon figure needs them. When a dancing pig puts his plump foot on the ground, the music will keep in time, and it will accent his movements when he plays the piano, skips under the bed, or shuts the door in the wolf's face. The projection schedule, another Einsteinian blueprint, is handed to each animator. From this, he discovers that he is to do scenes 25, 26, 27, the footage of each one marked and a description given. A third cryptic sheet called the exposure sheet instructs the animator on the nature of the scene and the tempo of the music. Completing the job. The 25 or 30 animators who are to work on the picture have desks, not unlike desks seen in schoolrooms, the tops being illuminated drawing boards, the light shining through from below so that pictures may be sketched against their backgrounds, and the next picture in a sequence may be sketched on a transparent sheet just above the first, so that there may be the right amount of difference between the two to give the illusion of action when reeled through a projection machine. After the drawings of the sequence are completed, they are turned over to the inking and painting department, which traces and inks or paints them onto celluloid sheets. These celluloids then are photographed on their appropriate backgrounds by a camera suspended above an illuminated drawing board. Approximately 100 hours are required to photograph a cartoon subject that averages 600 feet of film. The Pigs was considered longer than this and was composed of 15,000 separate drawings. While the animators are doing their stuff, the studio orchestra records the musical score. A trio known as the Rhythmettes sang the words to the lyric in The Pig, and a member of the studio staff impersonated the wolf. The sound, the completed cartoon, and the silly film resulting is then synchronized with symphony is ready for release. The secret of success, if there is any, is liking what you do. I like my work better than my play. I play polo when I have time, and I enjoy it, but I can't equal my work, says Disney. Oh yes, indeed. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf, and why? So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the article from 1934. There's a lot of really good information in there. I could talk for hours about it and what it meant at the time and what happened historically before this, what happened historically after that, what happened with Disney before and after, what it meant for Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf, what it meant for the Three Little Pigs to be such a success that he could then build upon with further success, which led to Snow White. That's everything I have for you today. I will catch you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.